Sweat Equity Podcast and Streaming Show, the #1 comedy business podcast and business comedy podcast.
Why do you always do it like a question like that?
Because it's fun to just be silly sometimes.
You sound like you don't know.
All right, we talk about entrepreneurship and we talk about real raw dog comedy.
Yeah.
If you're in the Tampa area, I am at Side Splitters, May 25th. You got anything for that in your noise machine? I'm opening.
It was just the first one I saw.
I'm at the main club at Side Splitters in Tampa, opening for my buddy Johnny LaQuasto, who you can see on a bunch of wrestling shows where he's doing a lot of hosting on that. Hey, we won a bunch of awards. I'm going to skip over that part. Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, your mom's Walkman, LinkedIn, whatever, man. Whatever you listen to podcasts, that's where we're on. And this episode is brought to you by Squarespace.
Forgot about it again.
Squarespace.
Just now.
Squarespace is that is the horse I've been riding for years. Eric and I have made over 200 sites.
I gotta put it like that.
What? I mean, look, WordPress is the dominant one, and every web developer will tell you you got to go WordPress. You got to go WordPress, and that's fine. That does some things. If you're an e-commerce site, go that way. If you're not,
listen to some nerd.
If you're not, go Squarespace. It's easy for anybody to be autodidactic. Learn on your own. You can. We started from the ground up. Really,
yes.
We're both those kind of stories. So, gone from zero and taught ourselves how to make very crazy, elaborate sites. It could do everything any of the other CMS content management systems are out there. Hit the promo code or hit the link in our description, and that'll get you hooked up. Holler if you hear me. Let's get the party started. Howdy dotty.
What about my sweat equity? Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
We're ghost riding in the whip on this one.
Yes.
No guest on this episode.
Okay.
I don't really actually know what it means. I know I heard it in rap songs back in the day.
Is that when you're driving a car slow and then you open the door and you jump out and you dance in the street as the car rolls along and then you jump back in and drive?
Yeah. It's a Chinese fire drill with some dance party in the middle.
Yeah.
Can you do Chinese fire drill anymore?
You just call it a crazy fire drill. You don't say the first part.
Ghost riding the whip. I think that's when you're really low down under the windows.
Probably.
Low.
Yeah.
So no one can see you, and then you pop up. And that's a fun way to get the episode started.
Yeah. Talk about drive-bys.
I do want to put a resourceful thing out there at the top of the show. We were talking to Steve G. Edwards of...
I want money.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
I love that.
He is our first guest sound drop that we have.
Yeah, I need to go. I need to comb
ever.
through more as I'm cutting up video clips to put out there. But he's the CEO of Premier Virtual. He's going to come back on this summer at some point.
I want money.
I was like, when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's perfect,
I know,
dude.
we both looked at each other like, write that time down, write it down.
I want money. He was a good sport, and he's down to come back on for sure. And they pushed the episode out, which we always love out of any guest.
Always nice.
Ann talked about the Hub in downtown Tampa, which is the dive bar of all dive bars. Which
the diviest.
Every city's got one. There's one at the beach called Mahuffers out here near Clearwater Beach, where there's dollar bills, stapled to the ceiling and. Like just crazy, wacky Florida shit coming out of the walls and whatnot. So I'm just glad we had that through line of being degenerates.
Yeah, I was gonna say trashy.
But the resourceful thing I have, because he got in Forbes, and I did a little bit of research. There's a couple ways you can get in Forbes if you really want to. You can just pay a PR company straight up. There's ads, Google ads. It's like $1,500 getting Forbes.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. So. That's one way. I went through a couple other things. There's other ways to build that up. One, the longer way, which we both should probably be doing, is writing.
Like become really successful and then tell everybody how we did it.
I didn't even throw that in there as a as a thing.
What do you mean?
I was like,
we're talking shortcuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a stepping stone to getting to that ultimate part. It's the longer way, which we both should do, is kind of writing blog posts, putting it out there, and then eventually guest writing on a certain couple of things that you can guest write for free, which is basically here. Let me write it up for you. You get all the SEO.
Content.
Yeah, here's all the SEO value. I mean, you got hit up like I did for that one magazine that was like, hey, we want to feature you in this magazine. It's like Tampa Bay Business World or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I see my friends have done it too.
Seems like homework.
And I go, okay. And then they sent me all the questions.
Yeah.
And it was like fucking 13 long questions. And I was like, wait. And then I was like, I should just take all these questions and then give it to them, but also put it on my blog as well. Oh, yeah. And just put it out there first.
Yeah.
Before them.
Yeah, swap cast.
So it just gets
I thought we were swapping.
negated out, but I get the social reach of them pushing it out.
Yeah.
But that's a long ass thing to do. So there's two sites that I asked my friend, former guest Bryant Donovan, who's told me about this for a while. It's called HARO, Help a Reporter Out, where you can get on these like email lists. They send them 3 times a day. You can specify what you're expert in, and it's a bunch of reporters looking for quotes from experts or.
They need content. That's the old internet news channels. They need content too.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'll tell you what, it's incredibly easy to get hold of any of those people who work at a TV station. I can tell you that right now. For sure. It's way easier than you think because you still have this thing with TV, newspaper, like magazines. You're like, oh, these are big time things. Yeah. Where's Peter Parker?
Well, yeah, they.
I don't know.
They crying somewhere.
What?
My son loves Spider-Man, but won't watch the second one or the last one again. I just bought it. I was like, guess what, dude? I bought it for you. And he's like,
Because of the ending?
Well, I got it. Willem Dafoe's so ugly.
Oh, he's pretty scary.
He's so ugly, dude. He's so creepy.
He's traumatized your sweet kids.
And the Green Goblin to us is a joke. Like, that's not even like, there's nothing scary about that. But I realize his face is such a barnacle that, like, and he's so good at acting insane.
Yeah, exactly. He looks, to trip, scary as shit.
Yeah, 5-year-old son, that he's just like, nah, Dad, not doing it. I was like, but you want to go see Doctor Strange too? Like, that's just as creepy, if not creepier.
That one hasn't scarred me yet.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, man, we need to get some edibles. And get lifted. Get into the multiverse.
I won't get it.
I know it'll be tough. There's string theory. There's what is it? Oh God, physics.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics. Yep, that.
Quantum physics.
Before I forget,
I want money.
So does Marvel. Apparently, there's some like cameos with like John Krasinski as the Fantastic Four dude.
Oh wait. I thought you were acting like you've seen it.
I haven't seen it. I just heard about it. Yeah. Am I supposed to do spoilers before I say that?
Yeah, that was kind of you got.
Professor X is in it.
Yeah,
he's in his yellow like animated one.
So SpongeBob,
his like hovercraft.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse shows up.
So
crazy.
Help a reporter out. I've looked at some of this. A lot of it's in the business sector that I was looking at. None yet. With digital so much for me to kind of give an opinion on, opine on.
What do you think they would do if we hit them up being like, we want to do a story about people trying to get on the news?
We want to do a story of people getting on the news?
About the process and what you can do.
Well, I know one way we can kind of signal them is maybe we'll put Help a Reporter Out in the title.
Okay.
Maybe it'll help like when we put Bubba the Love Sponge in there.
Yeah.
Another one that looks like Help a Reporter Out, which it's been around for a while, but similar, seems a little bit more higher end, a little bit more like you got to create a profile, really like kind of put in some like effort into who you are on the thing. Look, they're all stealing data or getting work for free in this whole scenario, so whatever.
What's it called?
It's called Quoted, but QWOTED. Which sounds like a fake Parks and Rec app joke they would do. Yeah. But that seems to be like, I looked up so I get emails for that once a day, I think.
It does the same thing?
Does the same thing, but it's like Reuters in USA Today, US News, a little bit higher echelon publications with this one. So, it's worth messing around on. I might just even apply for some of them just to see if I get any nibbles.
What do you mean apply?
So it's like it'll send you 20 different things. Like this writer's looking for a quote about cryptocurrencies up and down.
Oh, I'll answer all those.
I don't have any. You have experience with that. I don't.
Well, that one I might. Who knows?
As the time of this recording, what's Bitcoin up or down in the last month?
Oh, dude, it's
is it
29 grand. It's bad.
What was it at? 47?
It was at 63 in October or something like that.
When'd you buy? I don't want to get your capital gains tax.
Yeah, geez.
Well, it could be a loss.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not. I haven't bought it just at one time.
Yeah, okay. So a long time ago. Yeah, and you only have to pay taxes on when you sell it. So,
right.
And make a profit. But that's that thing of I don't have it's a lot of crypto stuff. It's a lot of trending stuff. It's a lot of
I'm saying fake it.
But then
you don't want to look it up.
Well, at the end of the day, the reason you're doing it is because I want to have my name in something that I can just go, here you go, check it out, look what I'm on. As
Law Smith, quantum physicist.
Right. There is a whole science section that I looked at and I was like, wow, I'm so dumb.
Oh yeah, I mean just
none of them.
We do not have the pieces of paper saying that we did classes on that, so you kind of probably weeded out pretty quick.
One of the gigs we did, you kind of started to get a little quantum physics stuff going, and I don't know. I got.
It's cool to talk about, but it's very limited in what I understand.
Well, maybe I was maybe they're looking for someone who doesn't know shit about it, and to comment on that, Joe in the street kind of stuff. So
yeah, I thought you was one of my opinion on quantum physics.
Yeah, so that's one of those things where check it out. At the very least, this show, we want to be resourceful in some way.
Yeah. Well, okay. So moving on from that.
UFOs?
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of quantum physics, I'm sure you didn't watch the whole thing.
I didn't watch it. I read, but I don't remember much, honestly.
Yeah. So if everybody doesn't understand what's going on.
500 documents or something like that? 400
Well, this
instances?
was the first time that they had people testifying in front of Congress about the UFO programs, whatever they call it, IAPs. Why? Why bother changing it?
Because it makes it more confusing.
Right.
That was the first thing I thought about.
I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yes.
UAP. Which UFO...
IAPs are just like regular planes.
Why not UFO?
Can you go up to the video and then... Because I want to show you...
Are we able to show video right now or no? Do we have to slap it in here?
I could.
Yeah, let's do that because I want to show the best comedian getting attacked clip of all time.
Oh, okay.
Off the heels of Chappelle.
Oh, I hope this doesn't make me watch the whole thing.
No, I got it queued up.
You do? Well, you got to join into the thingy. You don't have your live stream remote camera on.
Oh,
and then I got to go over there and add it in. It's not going to happen.
You can't just add it in. I'll vamp.
No, I'll just do it on mine. See, we got to go.
So you remoted in?
Quick. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
So the first thing is they got one of these guys who's part of the alien task force who looks like Kenan Thompson playing this guy.
Hey.
Until you see it.
I'm trying to think of Kenan Thomps's catchphrases.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's the SNL sketch? What's
up with that?
What's up with that? Yeah. Ooh-wee. Yeah.
Great.
What's up? Yeah, Tampa resident, by the way.
Okay, video's not working. I'll just explain it.
Yeah, your computer's fan in. All right.
Oh, there it is. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just trying to find. Look, cut to it, and there it goes. All right, cool.
Perfect.
It's not going to do both. So there's that guy. And then they have a point to where, they're like, we have two videos to show you. And the first video is the biggest piece of shit video you've ever seen. Like, there's nothing. Like, it's like, it looks like a golf ball for one half of one frame going past, right? That's the shitty bit they throw you.
Okay.
And another one was of these green flying triangles that through the course of the testimony, they eventually, the congressman's like, so we've been able to reproduce that. And the guy was like, yes, with drones. Like,
yes.
It was like, why bother? But the most egregious part of it was when one of the congressmen was like, can you go back and show us that video that you first showed us where you barely see anything? Mm-hmm. And they're like, sure. And then he's like, and can you go over there and point to the screen and tell us what we're supposed to be looking at? First of all, the guy has no microphone. All you hear is like, you don't hear a word he's saying. They don't have a camera on him. He's off camera. What they have is, okay, you can see this guy though. Look, hold on. It popped up.
Okay.
Look at the guy. Yes, okay.
He's got his hands kind of like...
No, it doesn't. It's not for the listeners. That's for you.
He's a 67-year-old black guy. I can't tell from this angle.
Kenan Thompson, 67.
Yeah.
In an ill-fitting suit, like an alien nerd would wear. But, bro, the congressman wants them to freeze frame, stop on one frame. And they spend literally 5 minutes of the guy playing it and trying to stop it. And then they're trying to rewind it. And they cannot figure it the fuck out. I wanted to... Dude, it was the most... I don't know, angering thing that I've experienced online in a long time. I was like, you guys are talking about alien technology that we can't even understand. And they literally said, oh, the laptop we're trying to watch it on is not good for this.
What? Like ours?
Like anything.
Like both of ours right now?
I mean, we're talking about the Pentagon. They don't have to have a good one laying around. Bust out the good laptop.
It is troubling when you see this or... the big data companies that were in Congress years ago, and they're like complete, like the digital. We've talked about this a long time ago. It's worth bringing up again. The digital chasm between generations is
egregious,
really wide.
It's
because
bad.
It's not like, all right, so take like automatic cars from stick shift, right? It's not like I'm not unwilling to learn stick shift. I don't know it, but I don't hate it, right?
But why bother?
I don't know. But I don't hate it. That's one of the goals this year I have. I want to learn how to do stick shift because I feel like I should know, right? And it's like one of those things where it's like, but I don't have a disdain for it. I'm not like, I feel like...
I get so angry when I can't do it.
We're tipping close to 40, and like people that are 10 years older than us are like, no. Like, I don't know how to do it. I don't want to learn. Right. And it's like, just fucking go to Apple and take one of those old people classes.
My soul. It's trying to steal my identity.
I was talking to my sister today about my parents' place, and it's like, we should get Mom for her birthday this week, and we should get her Apple TV. I was like, I have one over there. I gave him an old one.
I did that last year.
I put it in over a year ago, and it's like, it's a bridge too far. Like, to show them, press input, take it to the source, get to Apple TV. And when I realized on the phone, I was like, we have to make an account for him. That's the ticket.
This might get taken down. I don't know if this is public record or not. But look at that guy.
That's fine.
I'm sure it's
We'll take the risk of our no views on YouTube.
I didn't do the audio, though. So if you got to watch it to see this.
Okay, so the Honorable Ronald Moultrie.
Yeah. He seemed pretty cool.
Mr. Scott Ray.
Look, there's... Okay. This is the video they're talking about. They start at 33 minutes. Okay, there's 34, 35. They're still going. 36, 37, 38. Look, dude, they still...
That's how long this video is?
It's an hour and a half long.
Oh, shit. I missed you saying that.
It's an hour and a half long. I watched
Did you watch the whole thing?
Almost.
Oh, my God.
I was like, give me something, man. Give me something to get excited about. And I want to make it, while I'm thinking of it, I want to make a prediction on how the aliens interact with us.
Oh, shit. Okay. Count it.
There's been lots of reports...
Prediction.
Near nuclear bombs, launch sites that they will just get shut down when these things are in the area and they try and launch.
Okay.
Maybe Russia gets a little crazy. Maybe it's No, it might have already happened. How about that?
I don't even know what you're saying. So, nuclear reactors?
No, like nuclear missiles. They shut them down. Like, there's lots of stories of that happening.
From what? You think from UAPs? What are they?
Sure, yeah.
UAP?
It's aliens. I'm saying aliens.
Aliens are shutting down. But who's to say we're the good guys to the aliens?
They don't care. No, they're shutting them all down.
What?
It's not about taking sides.
So there's nuclear missiles that are getting shut down. You don't think that's, what do they call that? Like an armistice? Like a...
false flag?
Yeah, like the Cold War shit. You know, where we're like, you send nukes out, we're going to nuke out, we're going to nuke too. You know, it's a big, like, bluffing game. Isn't that what a Cold War? Because it's not a hot war yet.
Well, yeah, no, yes, that's all correct. I'm saying, like, these are stories from, like, people testing these things and saying, like, they would have activity. They'd see things when they were about to launch a missile, and then something would happen that it wouldn't work.
Sound like Tom DeLonge in Blink-182, dude.
I mean, this is...
You know he's in the inside.
You know me, I don't pop off about crazy shit. I'm not, Sam Tripoli. But
whose show now is like the CIA Undercover Brothers or something with Brian Callen. I love it.
Yeah, Callen does. Yeah, he's.
Oh man, that whole comedy. You don't even know about the comedy stuff going on.
What do you mean?
Like
all the
Callen and Schaub accused the Tiger Belly, which is Bobby Lee and Kalila Kuhn, of like their podcast sabotaging and talking shit on Reddit. And then, like, it's a whole thing. It's wild. You're going to have to... I'm going to send you the Tiger Belly, and you're going to be like, I don't even know what the fuck... Like, this guy is coming with no evidence. Schaub goes into Tiger Belly to talk about it last week, and he's like, I've got 300 pages of documents. And then fast forward to today, the next Tiger Belly episode's like...
You like how it's not real until it's, like, printed out? And
he showed him, like, source code on his phone after the podcast. So they did, like... They basically did an episode today, a week later, which was 2 hours after they had it with him. And it was like, I only saw zoomed-in source code, and I've yet to see any real evidence or anything. And I've been reading Reddit just because I find this all very, like, elementary school, like...
Yeah,
like
high school, maybe.
Well, look, I love comedians for a lot of things. One thing they're not great at is, like, adult social skills or, like,
being friends with people who aren't comedians.
That too, like people outside the comedy world, or just like know how to handle situations. Like if someone's talking shit about you a lot online, like Schaub gets a lot of shit for not being funny, and he's got a million views on his new special on YouTube. So it's like,
it's all Bobby Lee.
No, I mean they know. I'm sure they know. Like this is a very big comedy riff, which is very funny. As way down the tier list of all of it.
Right.
But very exciting. Anyway, UAP. So you think Dr. Scott Bray, Mr. Scott Bray, whoever was in that video.
That was good. You remembered his name. It's not pulled up.
Moultrie in the bunch.
Ronald Moultrie.
Ronald. His name is perfect for him.
Perfect name. So perfect.
He looks like he could give some good advice. Like, you boys, like, he should talk to all the comedians and be like, you guys are dumb.
There's another cringy part at the beginning, and one of the congressmen was like, I enjoyed having a dinner with you the other evening. Could you tell me about your background in science fiction, enjoying science fiction? And
so they had like a preamble?
Yes. Like, very masturbatory.
Very weird with the, very weird. Well, speaking of the comedy beef, one thing I do want to shout out. Do you have anything else on this UAP?
Nope.
All I know is the one dude who went on Rogan to talk about.
Jeremy Corbyn. Corbell.
That's the dude who did the documentary on him.
He got a shout out in the beginning of this hearing. They were like, they named like two organizations and then said Mr. Corbell. I was like, whoa. He did it.
Yeah. What was the guy's name? Damn it. This is going to bother me.
What are you talking about?
The guy who Corbell does the thing. He talks about doesn't he do the documentary on the guy who famously found UFOs?
Well, he worked at Area 51.
Yes.
That guy?
Yes. And said, like, Bob Lazar. That's it. And Jeremy Corbell. And how do you forget that name? That's cool.
I know.
And Jeremy Corbell is the guy who we never do that. Hell no. Jeremy Corbell is the documentarian that followed him, and his story hasn't changed in like 30 years, which is something to be said when.
Watch the documentary. It's really
good.
Really good. You haven't seen it?
I've heard so much about it listening to Rogan that I feel like I've seen it in a way, because like it talks about like him working on the spaceship and then trying to figure out how it's like it can thrust up and pivot and just move like.
Well, he talks about there being like.
You have to be tiny.
9 different ones. Yeah, he went inside the spaceship. It was for like a tiny being. And
then he got ousted. Like so they tapped his phones as he was working for them.
Yeah, and
his wife was cheating on him.
They think he got some kind of element out of there. Element 1.
Right. They thought he was dirty, and he probably wasn't. And then like they tapped his phones, found out his wife was like cheating on him or something.
Well, he had gone on the news in like the 80s or something.
Right.
And it was like, I got to tell people. And they did like the worst job hiding his identity. He had the most identifiable haircut you've ever seen in your life. And
like a scientist. A cartoon scientist, yeah.
Like, Bob, is that you? But yeah, no, he did that and was trying to get the word out. And then shit hit the fan with the government, started getting after him.
And then they either set him up, or like that didn't actually happen and they made it seem like it happened that way, or it really was going down, they let him know, just to kind of let that stuff crumble in him internally, with his wife possibly cheating on him. And then like after that, he went to show a friend or something.
You're an expert for not seeing the movie.
I've heard him talk about it so many times. And I heard him on Rogan, this episode I pulled up. From like 3 years ago.
Yeah, like you watch this guy, you're like, I believe that guy. He does not look like
I do too.
But
do you want to believe him and that thrusts you over the goal line, or is it like?
No, I'm pretty skeptical. I try and pick things apart.
You are,
and that guy is
hater.
Like, he doesn't change his story. He's very resolute. He knew shit that like he had to prove. In the documentary, he had talked about how they had these X-ray scanners to get into Area 51 that you'd put your hand in it and it would scan your bones and it would match up to
your resonance,
whoever, right? And then you'd rub crystals on your forehead. But your talked about it.
Friends like, hey, you want some turquoise jewelry?
Who wants sangria? But yeah, he talked about that thing and didn't have one to show, but the dude Corbell, is it Corbell? Anyway,
yeah, it's right here.
He tracked one down. So he kind of, him being skeptical of it, he went out and looked for it and proved him right. And it's one thing after another with that dude. Like he has way too much knowledge of just random shit that you wouldn't be able to know if he wasn't telling the truth. And
the one I heard, I'm looking like 4 things down to just put UFO guy Rogan because I was trying to figure out the name. And the 4th search result that came up was a what's it called? Was a reporter, a local reporter that covered it.
Yeah, George Knapp. He's the one who got him on, who he hooked up with me in like back in the day to get him on the news, I think.
So him and Jeremy Corbell went on Rogan like in 2020, and then I think he came back on, Bob Lazar came back on again. He's a physicist out of the New Mexico area, Bob Lazar, the guy we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I guess, what did he say? I don't know if it was him or if this was someone else's thing. The only 2 things I've heard were his account that I believe, and that there's multiple sightings of like triangular kind of waferish looking spaceships that people have seen in different areas, different times, and they just, as soon as they see them, they
as
like Doritos,
unsatisfying
Sky Doritos.
Yes, the Sky Doritos are coming to save
Sky
us.
Doritos.
The cool thing about that thing yesterday
Doritos. Was it's so dumb.
Space Doritos.
Dude, Space Doritos.
Is that there's like a reporting system for all this shit now. So now we'll find out just how many of these UFOs are actually being spotted. I'm not calling them IHOP. What was it?
Yeah, the IHOPs.
UFOs.
UAPs.
Yes.
Well,
UAPs.
So my first thing when I saw that in that article was like, oh, they're doing the thing where you switch the letters around. It makes it a little bit more ambiguous. It's harder to talk about. There's like tactics, like psych ops ways to kind of bury stuff that they know is going to be public, right?
Right.
And then do what the IRS does or lawyers do and just cover it in documents.
Yes.
Just fucking
cover it
C-SPAN.
in introductions of the guy who's working there and how he likes to read sci-fi books.
Make it so boring, like what you were watching.
Make it so they can't stop on one frame of the thing.
I'm totally in that theory of like...
They were doing that on purpose, so I'd stop watching. I didn't stop watching. I had to see it to the end.
Like, I think when people know they have to make something public like this, they cover it up with layers of just garbage and know that everybody's a fucking child and will not sift through it except for like
that had to have
one
been
Adderall nerd on like Reddit.
That had to have been what they were doing.
That's what I would do. If I'm playing strategist on their side, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
I go, everybody has no attention span.
See right through you, U.S. government.
Put it in a huge encyclopedia on top of 40 encyclopedias. Put it buried in there.
What? It's right there.
No,
all the UFO stuff.
What pro bono person's going to go through and read it? I look to the YouTube channel guys that
they're out.
I feel like there's definitely some YouTubers that will read through that. Or if your time suck with Dan Cummings, you'll split it up amongst the research team.
Sure,
you got 10 people looking over different topics every week.
That's most of the people that would do that.
Yeah, well, it's on you, time suck. It's on you.
Yeah. Somebody, we don't have to worry about that. It's probably already been deciphered, all those documents.
Yeah, well, look, you got to find someone who's willing to do it at almost a pro bono rate, which that's why my head goes to that, but that's the only limited knowledge I know of people that would do that. But
God, now that we're talking about it, that's exactly what they were doing with the world's two shittiest videos.
Right.
The guy who looks like Steve Harvey.
Make it 480p.
Yeah.
Like, just like...
Don't give the guy a
no
microphone
edits,
when he's...
No audio, who cares?
Right.
They probably hired like C-SPAN or public access people to shoot it.
Yeah.
We're bringing in a C team.
Yeah.
Well,
bastards, they got me.
One cool thing that happened, switching a little bit, Carmen Morales, former guest of this podcast, she's a comedian. You got something? Oh, I thought you had something lined up.
What? What would I have lined up for Carmen
I thought you were
Morales?
I thought you were hitting a soundboard. I don't know. I think this is before you came aboard as our mutual co-hosting on this show. She came on as a guest, and she's got an HBO Max special out, and it's fucking good.
Oh,
and,
really?
You know, when people are really nice, she was really nice. We knew of each other for years. She was in the Orlando scene and met both of us way late into comedy, and she was so sweet and so nice that I was like, I'm so happy for you, all that stuff. Just heard her on Joey Diaz's podcast, which is on video on Spotify somehow. We got to figure it out. I don't know. But I'm so happy for her getting that because it looked awesome. It's colorful visually, and it's like 30 minutes, I think. I thought it was in Spanish, and I was like, ooh, and it's not.
English can be tough too, though, sometimes, buddy.
Hey, listen to this podcast. I'm fucking mumble mouth through a bunch of shit.
What?
What about, I want to show, everybody's showing we're always tip top on news with Chappelle getting tackled. It's like 3 weeks ago. Chappelle got...
That's what you wanted to talk about?
No, I wanted to bring up, can you bring up this guy? So, a lot of people haven't seen this. This is the best or worst. Can you pull it up on the screen there? It's playing.
It's going to get pulled down, though.
Maybe. We'll see. It's been ripped so many times. This is on E-Bombs World forever.
All right, I'm going to take the video off, though, so we'll give it a play-by-play.
Oh, man. Well, the audio is how they catch you.
Okay, well, we just got to talk over it, right?
Well, so, okay, so this guy is in Oklahoma.
He just told the audience to shut the fuck up. And they're...
Because we got people who can just take you out here so fast, man, it'll be like you out in the parking lot going, huh?
Comedian Kitty Moore.
Big punchline there.
I know. It's LK State.
Shreveport, Louisiana. I thought it was Oklahoma.
So he's got a guitar and a harmonica. He's one of those comics.
This is early 90s, probably?
Very early 90s. He's scrambling right now. He's talking about Oklahoma.
No, pause it real quick. Here's what he did. He lost his shit already.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And you can feel it. Everybody can feel it.
He doesn't know what he's saying. He's talking about Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. He's just...
I've got close to For Real Mad on stage, and I'm like, oh, that's death. That's worse than anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because once they get you flapped up, they win. Here you go. Okay, I'm just going to show this part real quick. It
goes out of frame.
Yeah, it does go out of frame.
But when he comes back, it looks like Willie Nelson's guitar.
Yep, smashed it.
Smashed
it good.
I'm sorry, man. The guy fucking came out.
Yeah. He's on
Stand your ground, baby.
Yeah.
Stand your ground rule.
Okay,
Show's over. Wait.
A real pro. And then all the Karens.
There's one lady.
How much could you have paid to see this guy? You know?
Yeah, this looked like cocaine-addled 90s.
It actually says late 1980s in Shreveport, Louisiana.
I was even closer to cocaine.
That has got to be a tough crowd.
That's going to be after the bubble, the stand-up bubble of the 80s.
You roll in there with your button-down shirt and your guitar and your harmonica.
He looks like...
Without an accent.
He looks like a gym coach that got fired and had to go to Sunday school. Man, I don't know. Think about hitting someone with a guitar and it breaking like that and they're like just crumpling into pieces.
Yeah. For it to break, you're getting smashed. It's not one of those WWF ones that just breaks away.
But
Honky Tonk Man, it's got 40 of them.
Honky Tonk Man, nice.
Good pull.
Last thing
I don't have that on.
Last thing I got is we'll end on this.
Pretend like I just made a WWF reference.
WWF reference. Nice. Is that Honky Tonk Man?
Perfect. That's Ric Flair, you dick.
That's what I thought.
Dick Flair.
We're
losing it.
I don't know where to go with this. This is kind of non sequitur, of course, but my mom did one of the things that unintentionally, she called me last week, and now she stopped. My parents have stopped saying, like, why don't you become a lawyer? Why don't you become a doctor?
Congratulations.
No. It's way more insulting. My mom's like, why don't you become an Imagineer? And I was like, what the fuck?
What?
I was like, what is that made up word? And she's like,
I want money.
Right. That's what I said. I was like, is that an engineer that gets to sit and look at clouds all day?
You don't actually have to make anything. You just imagine it.
Imagineers work for Disney. I was like, could you imagine me walking up and go, what do you do? Oh, I'm senior Imagineer.
Mom, I can tell you I'm not qualified because I can't even imagine that.
I'm senior Imagineer. I had to go to a lot of imaginary grad school to get there.
Yeah.
I'm really...
IMBAs.
You know, the tests are really tough. You have to color outside the lines on everything and just do what you do.
God, I can't imagine.
I just thought that was funny. I'll flush that out on stage tonight. It'll get...
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, we'll see where it goes.
I mean, I gave you a couple good punchlines right there.
I just think, I think Imagineer, it's got legs. It's got legs for a bit. At a certain point, your parents just are starting to give up, and they're just like, I just want you to be stable. And you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, you guys, again, the digital chasm where they don't understand, like, what I do at all.
What did you make today? Show it to me.
Right. I'm like,
where is your, did you make a table or anything?
I'll send you my tax return if you want, but there's real stuff I'm doing. But I've literally, in our old office, tried to get them to understand. I had my mom sit down and go, this is what I do. And I spent 5 minutes. She's like, I have no idea what you just told me. I was like, this is Apple TV all over again.
Yeah.
All right. I feel good.
Okay.
You got anything else?
That's it. We're good.
We hit our contractual duty.
Yeah.
What about my sweat equity?
Hit up Squarespace, our sponsor.
Sweat equity.
In the Tampa area, Side Splitters, May 25th. Woo!
What about my sweat equity?